Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. You absolutely must sit down for this because what just happened at the reunion has completely turned the reality TV world upside down. Listen, I've been watching these shows for years, seen every dramatic moment, every shocking revelation, every scandalous confrontation. But this was on an entirely different level of explosive. There's Martell, strutting onto that reunion set like he always does. Shoulders back, head held high, radiating that insufferable confidence we've all come to know. You know exactly what I'm talking about, that I'm untouchable attitude he's carried since day one of the show. Well, darling, let me tell you, that confidence was about to be obliterated in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. From the very first moment the cameras started rolling, there was something electric in the air. Now, we're all used to reunion tension, right? The classic side eyes, the subtle shade throwing, those deliciously passive-aggressive comments that make reality TV so addictive. But this was different. The energy in that room was crackling like a live wire about to spark. Even before anyone opened their mouths, you could feel it in your bones. Something unprecedented was about to go down. Now let's talk about Martell for a moment. He's always been the undisputed puppet master of these reunions. Year after year, we've watched him waltz in thinking he can control every conversation, manipulate every situation, and somehow always emerge looking like the misunderstood hero of his own story. He's perfected the art of shifting blame, twisting narratives, and making everyone else look like the villain while he plays innocent. And honestly, for the longest time, it worked like a charm. He had that special kind of manipulative charisma that made people second-guess themselves, even when they knew deep down he was completely wrong. But honey, the tides were about to turn in the most dramatic way possible, because while Martell was busy playing his usual games, someone had been quietly watching, learning, and meticulously planning for the perfect moment to strike. And that someone? Sweet, composed, always diplomatic Kimmy? Yes, you heard that right. The same Kimmy who typically stays above the fray, who carefully picks her battles, who never gets caught up in unnecessary drama. That Kimmy was about to bring Martell's entire empire crashing down in spectacular fashion. Looking back now, all the signs were there, clear as day. Those cryptic social media posts she'd been sharing for months, the ones with those pointed quotes about truth always coming to light and karma being patient, the subtle ways she'd distance herself during group scenes, those careful, calculated looks she'd give whenever Martell was spinning another one of his elaborate tales. It was all building to this moment, and none of us, not even the most devoted fans, saw it coming. The producers must have sensed something massive brewing because they set everything up absolutely perfectly. The seating arrangements weren't random at all. They knew exactly what they were doing, putting Kimmy within direct eyeline of Martell. Every camera angle was strategically placed to capture every reaction, every micro-expression, every moment of what was about to unfold. The questions started innocently enough, but you could tell they were laying groundwork, building towards something explosive. It was like watching a master chess game where every single move had been carefully orchestrated for maximum impact. When the conversation finally turned toward Martell's past actions, you could see him gearing up to do what he does best: deflect, deny, and dominate the narrative. His body language said it all, shoulders squared, that practiced innocent expression sliding into place. But before he could even get his usual defense mechanism going, Kimmy cleared her throat, and what happened next will be talked about in reality TV circles for decades to come. "Enough with the games, Martell," she said, her voice steady but carrying enough power to silence the entire room instantly. "You don't get to rewrite history anymore." The way she said it, so calm, so measured, yet so absolutely final, sent chills down everyone's spines. And before Martell could even attempt to regain control, she started bringing out receipts. Not just little accusations or petty complaints. We're talking solid, undeniable evidence of everything he'd been trying to hide since the show began. The look on Martell's face was absolutely priceless. For the first time in the show's history, he was completely speechless. No smooth comeback, no clever deflection, absolutely nothing. He just sat there, opening and closing his mouth like a fish out of water, while Kimmy systematically dismantled every single lie he'd ever told on the show. The color literally drained from his face as she exposed one truth after another. But wait, because this is where it gets even juicier. Just when we thought the drama had reached its peak, Kimmy did something absolutely unprecedented in reality TV history. She turned away from Martell, looked directly into the cameras. Yes, you heard that right, she broke the fourth wall and said, "Y'all really want to go there? Fine, let's tell the real story." The entire set went dead silent. You could have heard a pin drop from a mile away. The cast members' reactions were absolutely everything. Some were covering their mouths in shock, others were trying desperately to hide their satisfied smiles, and a few looked genuinely terrified about what might come out next. Even the producers, who usually maintain perfect poker faces through everything, looked completely shook, because in that moment, everyone realized Kimmy wasn't just exposing Martell, she was about to blow the lid off the entire show's carefully constructed facade. Social media absolutely exploded the second this scene aired. Twitter couldn't handle it. The memes, the reactions, the theories were coming faster than anyone could possibly keep up with. Instagram comment sections were overflowing with people absolutely losing their minds. Some viewers were living for it, others couldn't believe their eyes, and everyone, was desperate for more details about what happened next. Industry insiders immediately started weighing in, furiously debating whether Kimmy had just committed career suicide or cemented herself as the most legendary cast member in reality TV history. Some were saying she'd never work in television again, while others were calling her the bravest person ever to appear on reality TV. The debate was fierce and heated, but one thing was crystal clear. Nothing like this had ever happened before in the history of reality television. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. According to my very reliable behind-the-scenes sources, what we saw on camera was literally just the tip of the iceberg. The production room was apparently in complete and utter chaos when Kimmy started spilling tea. Some producers were frantically trying to figure out whether to keep rolling or shut everything down, while others were already desperately strategizing how they could possibly edit this to protect certain people's reputations. And Martell? Oh, poor Martell tried absolutely everything to regain control of the situation. He attempted to interrupt, tried to play victim, even desperately tried to turn the other cast members against Kimmy, but nothing worked. For the first time in the show's history, his manipulation tactics fell completely flat. You could literally see his power slipping away with every passing second, and it was absolutely fascinating to watch. The drama didn't stop for a second when the cameras stopped rolling either. The cast was completely divided afterward, some rushing to support Kimmy, praising her bravery for finally saying what everyone had been thinking for years, while others were calling her move too risky and overly dramatic. Long-standing alliances were crumbling right before our eyes, new ones were forming in their place, and everyone was scrambling to figure out where they stood in this new reality TV landscape. Just when everyone thought things couldn't possibly get more explosive, another cast member, who'd been surprisingly quiet throughout most of the reunion, decided to jump into the fray. Their revelation sent the room into another complete tailspin. Nobody saw this new player entering the game, and their testimony only added more fuel to the already raging fire. The revelations just kept coming, each one more shocking than the last. The tension in the room reached such an unprecedented boiling point that someone actually walked off set. Sources say it was one of the most dramatic exits in reality TV history. Not just a typical storm off in anger moment, but a genuine "I cannot handle this anymore" breaking point. The energy was so intense, so charged with emotion, that continuing seemed physically impossible. The network executives are apparently in absolute panic mode now, trying desperately to figure out how to handle the fallout from this nuclear explosion of drama. There are whispers about emergency meetings being called, frantic phone calls being made at all hours, and serious discussions about the future of the entire show. Because let's be real, after what went down at this reunion, nothing can ever be the same again. Some of the biggest questions on everyone's mind now are, will certain cast members even dare to return after this epic showdown? How will they possibly handle filming the next season with all these completely shattered relationships? And most importantly, is Martell's reign of manipulation and control finally officially over? Because after what went down at this reunion, it's crystal clear that the power dynamics have shifted forever. The aftermath of this reunion is still unfolding day by day, with new details emerging literally every hour. Cast members are posting increasingly cryptic messages on social media, unfollowing each other left and right, and giving very interesting exclusive interviews to various media outlets. The drama has spilled far beyond the confines of the reunion set, and it's absolutely fascinating to watch it all unfold in real time. One thing's absolutely certain. This wasn't just another dramatic reality TV moment. This was a seismic shift in the show's entire landscape, a complete game changer that will be talked about and referenced for years to come. The tea has been spilled, the truth has been exposed, and all the masks have finally fallen off. Nothing will ever be the same again, and honestly, I'm still trying to process everything that went down. As someone who's religiously watched every single episode, every reunion, and followed all the social media drama religiously, I can tell you without a single doubt, this is the moment that will define this show's entire legacy. The day Kimmy decided enough was enough, Martell's carefully constructed kingdom came crumbling down, and reality TV history was made in the most spectacular fashion possible. I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely parched from all this piping hot tea, and something tells me we haven't even heard the full story yet. There are definitely more bombshells to come, more secrets to be revealed, and more drama to unfold in the coming weeks. All I know is I'll be right here, watching every single second of it, because after a reunion like this, absolutely anything could happen next. The reality TV landscape has been forever changed, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what happens next in this absolutely epic saga. Absolutely epic.